Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol BTSC. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like several days worth of time, it's actually just today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like through this time frame, think does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. I did do this analysis yesterday, so that's where these green and red line annotations are coming from. And before anything else, I just want to do a little house cleaning here and just delete these lines out. Sure, they still pertain to the chart, but they're not relevant right now. And from a presentation standpoint, I don't want to risk causing confusion because there's clutter with lines all over the place. So let's try to keep this as clean as possible. Now, this is a pretty tricky chart to talk about though right now because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you are a day trader and you bought, right there, or maybe you bought right there and you wanted to sell within 10, 15 minutes after buying, then yeah, for you, the chart looks pretty bad. Now, if you care about the big picture of things, I get it. There was a big pullback today. But from the big picture, the bulls do still have plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. And that's what it's all about. Big picture perspective, as long as the price is building overall higher lows, then that's how long-term uptrends are constructed. And that's the perspective I'm going to be talking from. So if I sound crazy calling something bullish, my guess would be you probably had more of a day trading type perspective going into it. And really it all revolves around this level that I talked about yesterday, right here around 12 cents, give or take. That was a level of resistance, but a foundational rule in charting states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And perfect example right here from theory to reality of, this, principle playing out. But price pulled all the way back here and surprise, surprise, it did indeed act as support. So let's say the price actually comes down here and tests it a few more times. I'm not saying it will, but just to kind of illustrate my point about how I can still call this bullish from the big picture perspective. But the price comes down here, does something like that, and then eventually starts to work its way back upwards. Emphasis on big picture. What would you still have here from the big picture perspective? Well, you'd have a set of lows right here. You'd have that set of lows right there. You'd have these lows down there. If you picture each one of these as stair steps, well, then from the big picture perspective, the price is still making progress in the upwards direction. Again, I fully realize that if you're a day trader and you bought right there and wanted to sell within 5 minutes, then yeah, you couldn't care less about these stair steps. But that's why I try to offer up a warning that I would be making these comments from, a perspective of those that care about the overall chart. So sure, today the price pulled back, but stop and think about that word, today, as in 1 day. Looking at multiple days like we're doing here, the bulls do still have a chance to build a higher base. So let's see if they can get that job done or not. One of the biggest questions I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.